I rise, giving perfect praise and adoration to the great God Allah. Honors to his holy and illustrious prophet, Prophet Noble Ali. Honors to the forerunner prophet, Mark Messiah Garvey, who paved the way for the coming prophet and said, "Up, up, ye mighty race. You can accomplish what you will." He said that intelligence rules the world and ignorance carries the burden. He said that the Negro needs a nationality. He said the Negro needs a Quran of economics. He said, where is this Muhammad to teach this Quran of economics to the Negro? Well, I bear witness that Prophet Noble Ali indeed is that Muhammad who did come, and he brought us the Quran of economics, which is none other than the Holy Quran of the Moorish Temple of America. Today, I just want to share a few things, shed a few things about what's going on in the world, particularly the country of the United States of America. Some say it's not a country. I'm not going to get into that argument today. But in regards to the stars and stripes, the red, white, and blue, the executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judicial branch, it is needing to be made clear that the government has three branches. So one branch of the government is not the government. And so what that means is that it is composited of or broken down into 50 different states and many different cities, many different counties. And that actually makes up the entire government, or the system, as people may call it. And as well as the jails, the prison system, the incarceration system. So that's another system in the system. It's a part of the county and the state laws that provide private businesses and corporations to buy land and have these private prisons and things of that nature. So when it comes to the executive branch, you have from the top, you have the president and his cabinet and administration. You have the governor, his staff, and administration or cabinet. You then have the sheriff and his administration and staff, as well as the mayor, his or her administration and staff and cabinet. And so these are the components, not all, not going too deep. These are the small, subtle breakdowns, if you will, of the executive. Now you have the judicial. Judicial, you have the judges, federal court, Supreme Court, Superior Court, District Court, and the municipal courts. That's how you break that down. Then you have the legislative. So the legislative is dealing with the Senate, House of Representatives, the Congress, the senators of the states, and the individuals that the councilmen, or also they're called in different places, they're called aldermen. So this is talking about the individuals that are part of the city government, that influence the city initiatives. And I may be getting a few components there incorrect, but man knows not by being told. And it's just an example to just get our people to understand how government works. So marching, we've been marching for a very long time. I'm not against marching. I'm not against protests. I'm not against really rioting. The looting is not something that a upstanding model citizen should demonstrate, but the frustration is very much understood and clear and valid in many ways. However, when it comes to administering change, that change must take place on the legislative level, starting with the local municipalities, the local government, going to the county, then going to the state, then the state making the corrections necessary, and then the state level on the legislation in the state then proposing it at Washington, D.C. And then the cities or the other states and other senators and House of Representatives agreeing or disagreeing to the proposal made by the state that was actually started in the local municipalities. Those are innovative ways to catapult the change that we need. And above all, is unifying with individuals and getting to a common understanding, a commonality. Hence a common unity, which people call a community. But to have a real holistic, organic, vegan community from a mental and spiritual and moral and ethical perspective, you must have a common ground and a common understanding. So our brother, Mr. George Floyd, not getting into the conspiracies as to the things that may have taken place with his life and him actually being a blood sacrifice and things of that nature. We're not going to get into that. But we're going to get into the fact of the matter that police brutality has been going on for a long time. And in addition to the rioting, in addition to the looting, that's valid frustration. In addition to the protests, we must work on establishing nonprofit organizations, businesses, initiatives and proposals, getting involved locally in your local government, and getting a hold of the congressman in your local government to have them give a response to how you may feel about the national issues and crises that have taken place in this country. Because contrary to what most people may say, and I'm just a young man in the country, so I'm just giving my opinion and my perspective about things. But some may say that a pen is a lot mightier than a sword. And there's merit to that. So when you have individuals that you've seen passing around a piece of paper for you to sign a proposal or initiative, and they want these signatures, and then come to find out that that person was doing it for a grant or doing it for a veto, if you will, of a bill that's trying to be passed in the city government, and then it doesn't get passed because all those signatures. That's just something to think about. It's just something to consider, contemplate, because there's a work for a lot of us to do. Myself being a member of the Moorish Temple of America, there's a lot of things that need to be done there. Being a member of the local communities that I'm a part of, the different organizations that I'm connected with and I support, there's work for all of us to do. And it's important for us to work together, not apart. And in addition to that, it's very important that we consider that as so-called black people, we have to address something that starts with an N. It's not a Negro, not a nigga, for lack of better terms. It's a narcissist. The narcissist has existed for a very, very long time. And the narcissist is the devil within, man and women. The narcissist is the one or the individual, the entity or the thought that says, I would do, if it were me, I would do better than them. If I had that money, I would do better than them. Or if I was in that position, I would do better than them. And in all actuality, you wouldn't, because you were not them. So it's going into a realm that doesn't have your support in the logic that you are wanting to superimpose. And I am victim of it. Self-victimization, trying to justify my own narcissist, saying that I'm better than someone because I think a certain way or I know certain things. No, we get information. If you're wise and you want to be a sage, and you want to be pure in heart, you get information and gather information for the good it may be for others, not to glorify your own understanding, because the clearest human knowledge is but blindness and folly. Meaning you don't know anything. And the only reason why you know something is that Allah, who's known by many different names, bestowed the information and the capability for you conceptualize knowledge, wisdom, and understanding for your own growth and development and your own approbation for you to improve. And with that growth and development and that improvement process, you are to take it to those who do not know and help their lives improve. And then you are to do a self-examination and take it to those who know more than you, so that you can be critiqued and you can evolve and be a better human being in society of the world. That's all I have to say about that for now. I ask that you labor to do better and be better. Be strong, upright, independent, and fearless. And care for your loved ones, because some of them are dying and they are very ill. Some of you have not visited them or called them, and they would like you to just listen to what they have to say. Sacrifice some time. Make a sacrifice, a willing sacrifice, so that way the world may be a better place. And your world, your personal, small, minute world, may be better. These are just subtle things. We have to look beyond our present state and understand that the possibilities of man are endless. We have the ability and capability to make our world better. If we will to do it, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Peace and goodwill.